Hello and welcome to this final edition of my Celebrity Big Brother reunions. On today's show, we're joined by Paul Danan, Heavy D, and Ben Jardine, and they're all going to talk about their experience on the show. Now, this one's a little bit different because they all had kind of a tough experience at times going in there. So, this is the final episode. Thanks to everyone that's taken part. We've had Fat Man Scoop, Jessica Cunningham, we had Alex Reed, we had Geordie Shore's Ricky. We had Dee, we had Kelly Maloney, we had Perez Hilton, Angie Best, Jasmine Waltz. So, thank you very much to everyone who supported and watched, and I hope you enjoy this episode. So, hello and welcome to this special episode of Celebrity Big Brother Reunion. I didn't know before we put this call together that everyone actually knows each other. So let's say hello to Paul Danan. How are you?
How you doing, Lewis? Yeah, really good. Thanks. Good to see
on.
you, man. Amazing to see Benny and Heavy on. My boys from way back. Really, it's been a long time we've all known each other, so It's lovely.
And we've got Ben Jardine, who's on the call, who's actually in his own gym in his house. He's literally just showed us around, and it's incredible.
How you doing? You all right? How's the
good.
boys?
How are you?
Right? Oh, Lee, you all right?
Yes, Benny.
Yo,
Ben, what's happening?
The legend Heavy D is on the call as well.
Oh, yeah!
Well, first of all,
I miss you, Heavy, on that show, you know, like, just want to see you. Remember that, you know, the show you used to do?
Storytellers.
Yeah, I loved you on that.
I remember when I first met you at Gresham Blake. You goes to me, listen, man. You guys, I love that. I love you doing that, running people like winding everyone up.
You're so good on that. So good, so good. They haven't got that show anymore, or they do?
Nah, but me and Linda, we're gonna do a spin-off show. We're gonna do a spin-off show. It's our own idea, and we're gonna you know, we got that in the pipeline. So
Amazing.
we got there's a few other things, a few other ideas we've got as well. We've got that. I've got another idea for another show. So we're just putting it all together. It's like a dating show. Do you know what, man? Like, man. Yeah, we've got a dating show coming up as well that we're doing as well. So
I'm your man for that type of stuff, and Benny.
But are you guys married up though, innit?
Nah. Hell no.
Hey, listen, Paul, listen, mate. We might need you for the show, bro. Listen.
I knew it.
I thought you were very bad. Hey, listen,
No.
for this show, bro. You're gonna love it. It's pure jokes. Listen.
I'm divorced now, mate, if you didn't know.
What?
I'm divorced if you didn't know.
Oh, you're big as well. Oh my God.
See?
This is fake. This is fake.
I love Heavy D, absolute legend.
The energy
is amazing. Well, I mean, Paul, I want to start off with you, really, which is when you went on to Celebrity Big Brother, we, of course, know you from your time on reality TV and for being a big character. So when you went in there, people had expectations of what they thought you were going to be like. But for me, watching you, it was really nice because it felt very different. You came across as somebody that was just so chilled. From the guy that we remember on Celebrity Love Island to Celebrity Big Brother was almost like chalk and cheese. So what was it like for you going on reality TV with a different mindset? Because you were different and it was in a good way.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why I did it, to be honest. Love Island was 2005. It was the first time they ever did it out in Fiji and stuff. And, you know, I was 25 years old, you know, completely different person, very excited, very, you know, just, I don't know, I was just a young guy that was loving life and kind of, you know, had my own kind of stuff going on, but like, you know, just really excited to be part of something that's, you know, as we all know, has grown so massive now, which I think actually in a way they should do a celebrity version because, you know, I think that would be really entertaining. Yeah, and you know, it was different for me because obviously coming from Hollyoaks and being an actor, I'd never, you know, I've always played a character. I'd never actually just been myself. I didn't know what that was about. So I just did it like I was just on holiday with the boys, you know, and there was some really gorgeous girls there. That's how it was for me. I didn't even see the cameras because they were all hidden in palm trees and stuff like that. So then when you go on Celebrity Big Brother all these years later, you've had a lot more experience in life, been through the ups and downs, you know, been through a lot of addiction problems, mental health problems, to the point where I really wanted to come back and kind of not be that crazy, drunken, you know, flirty guy that starts fights, you know, and just be like, you know, the me that has had a kid, you know, has kind of, you know, sobered up and really started to, you know, be this person that, you know, I wanted everyone else to see, and the change really, you know. And it was, I suppose, 15 years later. Like, I was nearly 40 when I was 39, I think, when I did Celebrity Big Brother, and you know, and that was the reason why I wanted to do it. And the difference was there was cameras in your face. You could see the cameras quite clearly, and there were hundreds of them. And it was like being in a TV studio the whole time. I'm sure the boys can tell you too. You know, it was mental, like the heat of the lights and just the whole kind of, you know, when you're talking to someone, there's a camera looking at you and a camera looking at them. They don't even know if you're actually doing it for telling the camera or telling them. And that's what pissed me off a little bit, is that actually, no, I'm just talking to you as a real guy, you know, like, but everyone's a bit like, you know, and then they realize, okay, no, you are being real. You know, it isn't for the cameras. You know, you're aware that the cameras are there, but you can't keep that up. You have to just be real and be you. So it was very interesting, a really good experiment. And for me, like, I've been in rehab so many times that it was a piece of piss. It was easy for me to be in Big Brother. Like, I was more, I could have stayed in there for ages. People wanted to go because they hated being confined, like we were in lockdown, that confinement, you know. But when there's, I don't know, when there's things to do and just, you know, it's quite interesting, really. And I was used to that, basically, is what I'm saying. A new community, new people, and not really being able to go out anywhere and be in the real world. You know, it was okay, but a lot of people find that really hard. I don't know what the guys thought of that situation.
Well, I mean, for you, I was going to say, what was interesting was, we know you from, you've done reality TV. You were a big part. You were in all the papers, the magazines from it. And you've gone on to Celebrity Big Brother, and you're with people like Gemma Lucy, you know, who's a current reality star. And you guys did clash. So was it a kind of part of you that you wanted to help her? You know what she could be going through, or what's up and coming? Did that ever come across?
Not really. She just wanted to she just wanted to wind me up. She was used to, she knew what would sell, what would go on the cut. You know, she knew what would be edited and what wouldn't. She was clever. We all knew kind of anything that's to do with rows, fights, or fucking would always go in the hour show. So, you know, romance and kind of rows and stuff. So she just, you know, knew if she wound me up, she knew I'd bite in the end. And it was quite you know, in the end, I did, you know, I'm quite sensitive. I did react. At first I didn't, but you just do. But she knew what she was doing, and she, you know, she acted. She was just playing the game, and I was really not playing any game. So I kind of, you know, sometimes it's just like, you know, you're being a fucking idiot. But because she was just, you know, in the day she's amazing, and then in the night, like a lot of people, when they were drunk, they were like a different person, you know. And because I wasn't drinking, I could really see it from a different perspective. And I thought, fuck, that's what I'm like when I drink, probably, you know.
Yeah, but think about it. You know what it is, Paul? When people drink, that's when I think the real person comes out. That's what I think. You know what I mean, whatever they, what I mean is, whatever they've been thinking, they're brave enough to say it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it is like a truth serum. Yeah.
Dutch courage, isn't it?
I think you know, obviously that's when the rows came out, because whenever, you know, someone was pissing someone off, when the booze came out, that's when they all started, like, you know, whatever. Then you started seeing the real character.
Yeah, but I also think that that's not a nice side of people when they're drunk. It's actually the shitty side, when it becomes aggressive, not funny drunk. It becomes more like, you know, angry drunk. And I think when you get to that stage, yeah, it's part of you and it is real, but it's also the alcohol talking a lot of the time.
Well, I mean, not everyone is angry.
We lost you there in a bit, Heavy. Right, we'll come back to you in just a moment. Hopefully your connection will.
I mean, I don't get angry.
So Ben, I want to go over to you because obviously you were a massive part of your series. Because when you went in there, not a lot of people had watched the show that you were on. So you kind of went in there, and we were all getting to know you for the first time. And you go in there, and you're such a nice guy, but then you were involved in this huge story that people just couldn't believe. And I've got to say, you handled it with such dignity throughout the whole thing. But the last time, because I mean, you can probably agree, Celebrity Big Brother, in regards to ratings, were not as high as a Channel 4 series. And obviously, we all remember the Jade Goody and Shilpa incident, where it was spoke nationwide. And your situation with Roxanne and Ryan, that was one of those moments where it had just catapulted into another level. And obviously, you were oblivious to what was going on. So I kind of want to go to life afterwards when you had watched it yourself. What went through your head when you see how it affected the nation outside?
Yeah, look, it was, you know, like, I don't know, there's one thing that you think about. You either follow your head or you follow your gut. Now, I don't, you know, like, when you, and like Paul and everybody knows what it's about. When you're in that scenario, everything is magnified. So, you know, your character or my character is magnified, or a situation is, you know, someone could drink the wrong cup of tea or something and it could really, you know, affect. But I was in such a scenario where, you know, Ryan, I was training with Ryan every day, you know, bonding, we're all bonding. It's like you're locked down in there. So you've got to think outside the box, you know. So, you know, I was developing like training strategies just to keep everyone's mind ticking, keep everyone going. And, you know, then I'm confronted with something which is very, very close to my heart, you know, and I don't want to go into too many details, but I do not agree like that. But then all of a sudden from the other side, I noticed when you're in a situation like what Paul's saying, Ryan was very isolated as well. So that's what I'm seeing as a gentleman. Yeah. You know what? In life, I face things head on. I don't like bullies. I don't like, you know, I don't like them sort of people. So if I've got an issue with someone, I will, or there's something everyone's whispering behind people's ear, because that can be really magnified. I'm not that guy. Do you know what I mean? And yeah. So I will, you know, connect. And like you say, a lot of things are going on behind the scenes, and I'm noticing stuff, but everything's magnified, and I'm thinking, I don't like that. Bless him, he's isolating himself. He's part, you know, making part of it, Ben. So that's me. And if I'd never, and what people don't see is like, if I'd never have brought it to a head, where would that have gone? Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about. And that's about looking after, you know, a situation. And like Ryan's a good guy, do you know what I mean? But he was being like isolated for that because of what was going on and all the little whispers and like, I didn't know.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
When someone tells you to your face and I'm going, what? Like that, you know what I mean? You don't know what to think, and everyone's trying to, look, you know, in life, I don't believe in playing games, and like sometimes in every single day, we all, and like Paul's an actor, you know, I do a little bit of acting now, just calling that one out. But what are you laughing at? Paul's meant to be helping me out as well. But all I'm saying is, it's like, you know, I believe in taking things head on. Don't stick your head.
100%.
And that's what it's all about. And for doing that, I feel like I was the gentleman. Do you know what I mean? For doing that, and you know, still speak to Ryan today. He's a good man. And I'm still, you know, still friends with everyone, and that's testament. That's testament to myself, because if you know, I was never voted. You know, it's one of them little things where I was put in a situation, but I just want to take people at face value, and that's all you can be. And don't. There's no acting only on here. Only on the big screen next time, you know what I mean?
I mean, you can understand. It was the only time I've ever watched the show and felt so uncomfortable, because you start to think, what could have happened if there wasn't a camera there?
Yeah.
I mean, even Emma Willis, you can understand. Emma Willis is Paul would know. I know you know Emma well. She's a pro, and every time, even if she doesn't like someone, she doesn't let it show. But that's the only time I ever saw Emma.
Well, she did against me, mate.
She took her earpiece
She
off
did
and she
against
walked
me.
off.
Yeah, but you don't. Look, I think
So you're here, mate.
Yeah.
things blow. And if you leave something, things will blow out of proportion. And that's why I couldn't let that happen. I could not let that happen. And again, I just thought, but when you follow your gut, and I'll say this now, is my gut is go and speak to the person face to face. Can't, because if you leave, that could have got very, very serious. And I
you want to hear me?
We can hear you.
Someone's talking, man.
Sorry. Sorry, mate. Sorry. I was just checking seriously. I was still in the loop.
He's
Sorry,
got
mate.
Tourette's.
I'll wait till he's asking you a question in a minute.
All right. I know. I was wanting to let people know I'm still in the room. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
You've done interviews before, right?
No, I didn't have the audio was on. Sorry. Go on. Carry on.
Yeah. Love you, brother. Love you, brother. My G.
No, so Ben, I mean, I do actually want to go to Paul with this, because Paul does an amazing podcast which is all about mental health. Now, part of me, just from someone watching this, when you see someone like Roxanne behave in the way that she did, part of you thinks maybe that's got to be a mental health issue. And it did seem like after the show, she did acknowledge what she did was wrong and wanted to genuinely change. Now, I wanted to see Paul's kind of opinion on the whole situation from somebody that helps people with mental health. You know, what's your kind of thoughts?
Yeah, to be honest, it was. I watched all of that, and Ben was incredible. I mean, it was absolutely, as he said, a real gent, you know, he's got not a bad bone in his body, and he was going through stuff himself at the time. I'm sure he'll admit, and you know, and the thing is, like, you know, I think the casting actually they know the people that have got stuff, you know, going on, and I think that's what they look for in a way, because they know it's going to be, we're more sensitive, we're more got stuff, you know, maybe mental health problems, addiction problems, whatever, and it just brings kind of more, and we're characters, you know what I mean? I'm sure Heavy will admit, you know, we're all characters, that's why we do what we do best. But sometimes it can be exploitation, and there's a thin line between that going on stuff and actually not even knowing ourselves that maybe we're not right. I shouldn't be going on that show, like with Celebrity Love Island. I should never have been there, you know. But with Celebrity Big Brother, I was okay to be on there, and the evaluation from the psychiatrist was much more thorough. But that's years later, 15 years later, many years, you know, back in the day, it was like, right, okay, so you're a bit like that, don't worry, you'll be fine. You know, now it has to be very strict. And Roxanne, maybe they missed a trick with her. Maybe there was more going on with the mental health side of things. And maybe, you know, because that was a real cry for help. You know, it was there was something for her to do that. It was like something in her past. It triggered that, you know, whether it was someone, just a man coming to her and just, even if it's a little tap, it was like, and then suddenly she thought in her brain, maybe the cameras are going to go on my side and this will get me points or whatever. But actually it was delusional. It's completely mental. It was mad for her to believe that she was actually hurt or hit, you know, because she wasn't.
But honest, so real. When someone's saying that to you, it's like, and that's what I mean. It's like what you say. It's like everyone's got a past, don't we? We've all got a past. We only know our future from our own experiences, and I never disregard anyone's past. So, like what you're saying there, something can trigger something can trigger something off, and that you've got to take evaluation of everyone's mind, everyone what they're going through. And like what I said right from the start, when you're put in that position, it is a magnifying, it's a pressure cooker, isn't it?
Yeah, it really
everyone's having a you don't know, and you're getting no sleep. You're getting, because they're good. They know how to frame in, and you think when I went in like that, I'm thinking, nah, they won't push my buttons. Oh, was I wrong?
Yeah, we have been bad days.
Yeah, so like you know, so all I'm saying is, you know, bless her, because like it's cost her career in a way. You know, it's really affected her career and what's happened afterwards, and you know, and people see her and will always remember that, like they remembered, you know, Leo Sayer. You know, like they when he just walked out and lost the plot because he couldn't wasn't getting his pants washed or some shit. You know, like how they
I
you know.
forgot my pants going in. I
Well,
forgot my pants.
you need them.
Did you see what I was wearing?
But you know what I mean? Like,
True story.
look at Vanessa.
Honestly.
You know,
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
people will always remember what Vanessa did. You know,
Me with the Cocoa Pop.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Ab's the best of us, mate. Ab's the best of us.
So at the end of the day, you know, it's TV gold, but at the same time, at the expense of someone's mental health, and that
Always.
is not what I like. I don't agree with that, and I think that's
Well
really
said,
dangerous.
mate. Well said. I respect
Definitely.
that, Paul. Well said,
Yeah.
brother. That's real,
yeah,
mate.
yeah.
That's
Heavy
real
D.
life. And
I
Yo.
got to say,
can you hear me? Henry, can you hear me? Henry, can you hear me?
What's that? We're not going to let you answer this question.
You know, I love that. I mean, as a fan of the show, when you went in there, you were somebody that when the series was getting a little bit boring, it was like you were thinking of what we were looking at home, and you would just wind someone up, and then there would be some kind of entertainment. You were just TV gold. Was that your goal going in there? Did you kind of go in there thinking, right, this is getting a bit boring, let's liven it up, or is that just you?
Listen, right? Listen, like, do you know what it is, right? I just like to. I don't like to be a dull moment. Do you know what I mean? And basically, like even on the story channels and stuff, I like to bring entertainment, but without being malicious. Do you know what I mean? There's a difference. Do you know what I mean? You can wind someone up, you can have a bit of banter, but without no malice behind it. And it's very important. That's very important. Like when you do that. And I thought I always brought that to my special type of entertainment. And basically, when I went to the Big Brother to Endemol to talk about what I'm going to bring to the show, I told them, I said, look, at the end of the day is I'm going to bring the same high intensity and there's never going to be a dull moment in the house. So I went in there and I delivered that. But the thing about it is right. I was torn whether to go in as Colin or whether to go in as Heavy D, all right. And that was the thing. But I didn't want to go as Colin because no one knew Colin. I went to go in as Heavy D, so I went in as a character. Okay, went as a character. So just before I was just about to go in, the Big Brother and producers came into my hotel room and they said, "Listen, you've got to. We want you to be in every altercation. You got to be around it. You got to be this." And the way I saw it is they're my paymasters, yeah? And I said, listen, like, you do is what you say. You're getting paid for it because it was a job at the end of the day. And you go in there and stuff. It's not a holiday. The way I saw it is you're working. Do you know what I mean? So you go in there and stuff and, like, you listen to what they say. Because I believe that Big Brother's got the power to get rid of you at any time. Do you know what I mean? They got rid of that guy. Who's that guy? Ray J. They got rid of it because he went playing ball. If they want to get rid of you, they'll find a way to get rid of you. You know what I mean? If you say you're going to do something and you don't deliver on that promise, they will get rid of you. They will. It could be just for the small. There's things that everyone does in Big Brother that you might not realise, and you might not think is whatever, but it's outside the guidelines. No one goes into Big Brother and is actually follows all the rules. Nobody.
Yeah. But he was smoking THC the whole time, the vape, wasn't he? He was smoking, that Ray J.
Ray, we with Ray J. Why Big Brother got rid of him? I think was because he was getting paid £1 million, rumored that he was gonna reveal revelations of like Kim Kardashian. He went in there and slept all the time.
Didn't give any of that,
so obviously he didn't play ball. He didn't do what Big Brother asked him to do. So same as in my instance. They've told you to do a job, or you told me you're going to do a job. You didn't deliver on that job. So, you know what I mean, I could have just went in there and slept. But at the end of the day, the way I saw it is, you know what? Listen, I'm being paid for this, so I've got to deliver, and I've got to give value for money. I could have done that. I could have, I'm going to pick up this paycheck and just do nothing.
Do you know what, Colin?
Like, do you know what? Nah.
Colin, can I say something? You know what? You're right in what you say, but what upset me when I was watching you was the way people actually were treating you in the end. And I didn't like it. I felt that they were bullying you a little bit. And I felt
100%.
that I felt for you. I felt for you.
100%.
And I thought it was wrong.
Listen. Do you know, when I went in there, I was just being myself, and I get this. I'm a big character, right, yeah? And there was a gang mentality in there, right, yeah? I'm not going to lie. They was ganging up on me, right, yeah? And there was one point, there was two gangs thinking, it wasn't doing anything bad or anything like that. I was having a laugh, right, yeah? All right, okay. All right, I might be playing a little bit. There was times when I was acting up, but it was never
malicious.
It was never bad. I was just, you know, having a bit of a laugh, but never malicious. I mean, like, listen, right, yeah, Lewis Bloor, when I went in there, right, I knew Lewis from before and that's like that, and he just dug me out non-stop with a little gang, him, Chloe, Spear, and Marnie. They just dug me out non-stop to the always trying to mug me off, and do you know what I mean? And I was like, what the fuck have I done to this geezer? I knew this geezer from before, do you know what I mean? Like, why is he digging me
Colin,
out?
how did that affect you? Like, as in, like, how did your mental health be affected with that? How did you go to sleep at night? Were you worried that you weren't gonna, like, weren't you feeling lonely? Weren't you feeling a bit hurt? Bit wounded?
Mate, listen, I haven't felt as bad as I felt in there since I was at school when I was getting bullied.
There you go.
Felt that sort of emptiness, that sort of, like, it's horrible. It's like, where do I go? What do I speak to? There's no one to talk to. At least when you get bullied at school, you go home and speak to your family. I had nobody. Yeah. I had no one to speak to, man. Like, you know what? It was like, oh, fucking hell. Because you know what? I came across this guy who was like laughy, ha, do you know what I mean? This thing, the other. But fact of the matter is, fucking hell, do you know what I mean? Like, I got feeling like everyone else. But it's fucking painful, man. I swear I was going through some shit in there that no one knew, man. I was going through... What?
Ben was saying something.
Hello? No, but that's what it's like, Evie. Like, do you know what I mean? Like you're going to feel like isolated. And I've seen that. And I've seen what that's
isolation, like. That's the word. That's the key word. Isolation is the key word, mate. You feel isolated.
Yeah, and everybody, and like, look, we put the whole world in lockdown. Do you know what I mean? And when you're in your own confined space, but you've got different personalities, and then it's a pressure cooker. But I do not like to see someone isolate themselves. And when someone starts isolating themselves, that's when you've got some issues. And that's why you have got a kind of like what you are, Heavy. You are a character, and like you make you feel welcome. And it's nice. And if you're like that, I respect that. I respect that in an individual. But I don't like bullies. I don't suffer fools. And I don't like to see it. And when I see it and people whispering, Big Brother's the worst for it, it's just not nice, mate. It's not nice. And then
listen, yeah.
With people and respect people. Do you know what I mean?
Listen. I want to clear this up, right? Yeah, I want to clear this up. People think, right? Yeah, they said, right, to some degree that I said to Katie that she was an X Factor reject. You have to understand what led up to that, right? Yeah, I fell out with that mob boss wife, right? Yeah, and then all the girls, they won't speak to me, right? Yeah, and that is what I'm talking about. The alienation and the bullying is then after me and Renee, we was friends again. Then he'll start speaking to me again. So I was like, don't come speak to me now. It's like, you know, learning mentality. It's like, you know what?
She was a bit of the ringleader.
Yeah, just don't like.
Yeah, the ringleader. But you know, people don't understand, right? And then what I did was, right, yeah, I sort of reacted, and I was like, what are you coming to speak to me now for? You didn't speak to me all week because I fell out with the ringleader, and now you want to come speak to me. And that all you saw was the edit of me saying you're an X Factor reject. I was like, oh, Heavy is such a bad guy. They never show what leads up to it. They never show that. They would just edit whatever. They can manipulate and edit whatever they want, man. Big Brother's fucking for that.
Colin, sorry, Lewis. Colin, what did Big Brother do to help you? How were they there for you when you went to the diary room and you went and explained how you were feeling? If you did,
listen, mate. Listen.
What did they do to help you?
Nothing, mate. Can I be honest with you? Can I be honest with you? I'm not. I wasn't good at this. I know that, Paul. I know you're good at it. You're good at showing your vulnerability. I didn't know how to show my vulnerability. I didn't know how to open up, right? Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Yeah. And when I came out, the psychologist, right, he goes, right, mate, you want a beer? And that was it. There was no after. There was no
aftercare.
Show.
There's no aftercare. This is the problem, Louis.
It was like, do you want a beer? His was, do you want a beer?
Terrible.
And I think that's wrong. Listen, not Paul, right? Yeah, you're brilliant at fucking showing your vulnerabilities, and I'm shit at it. I'm shit at it, mate. I'd love to be like you, man, but I'm learning. You know what I mean? Big Brother's a very good show for that, for showing your vulnerabilities and this thing other. But I never always thought always show your strengths and stuff like that. And this,
no,
because that's what
you've been brought up like. But what's amazing about you?
Yeah, that's what I brought up like.
Yeah, of course. So that's all you know. Oh my God. Don't beat yourself up for that. That's all you know. What's amazing and really, really interesting is that you said that it reminded you of school, and you know what? That's exactly what it sounds like. It's like you're back in the playground, and that's how it felt for me, that I was back in this kind of a playground scenario where you know, who's the person everyone wants to be friends with, who's the person that no one wants to know, who's the person that's the bully, who's the, you know, and it's all these different groups and different you know, antagonist leaders, blah blah blah, and then it was like you were back to that little boy, that little Colin that was back in school again, and it's like, well, why are you attracting that again? What's going on with you? Like, for people to act that way, to like, I don't like. What do you do? Is it have you always wound people up and pushed them away, or what?
No, it's not. It's not. No, listen to me. Big Brother, right? Yeah, is a cesspool of narcissists, right? Yeah, it's not me. It's not me, mate. It's like you've got no disrespect, right? Yeah, but you've got the most dysfunctional people all put in one place. Yeah. Right, this is not normal healthy people, right? Yeah, they're not normally healthy like people that they put in Big Brother. So you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. You can test the patience of a saint. Listen to me. I was in there and I said I was not malicious. I was never like Lewis. I was never like a bear. I was never ever like that. I wasn't hiding people's stuff. I wasn't putting stuff on people's beds, mate. I was never like that.
No, I know you. Right, yeah? I know you.
All I was just being myself, and to them, that's a massive. That's a threat. That's a threat. This guy's got personality. This guy's got something about him. He's got a bit of energy. Even Biggie said on the first day, Heavy D is going to win this by the day. They said Heavy D's the biggest threat here, and they all know that because of my energy and my personality. I'm not trying to pick myself up too much, but why would Biggie just come out with that? Why would they say it? Why would they all gang up on me? They always gang up on someone who they see as a threat.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? If you've got to gang up on someone and it's whatever, that means that you see them as, you know, if you've got, you know, it's a gang mentality. If it's wrong, they always gang up on someone who they feel. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
It's a shame that you went in there as Heavy and you didn't just go in there as Colin and just be.
I wish I had the bollocks to. I wish I had the bollocks to, Paul.
That lovely guy that I know, and that lovely, soft, sensitive side that you've got, and you're a beautiful man, and that's the thing, don't you think, Lewis?
Yeah. I mean, well, I was a fan of you in the show, but it's funny that Paul picked up on that because there was a stage, again, where it was uncomfortable, where I felt you were being bullied. And it was almost like the girls against you, and they knew what they were doing, and it was uncomfortable to watch. I think it's good that Paul just picked up on that.
It's girls. Girls are a nightmare sometimes. They're worse than guys.
100%.
Paul,
100%. Well, sometimes the girls control the guys, isn't it? So the girls always start the fights because they control the guys. So
totally.
You're right. In the end of days, guys are always going to be influenced by, you know, by let's say it right, by you know, a bit of pussy.
Yeah. Also, you can't fight a girl, can you?
You can't. But think about it, 10 guys are always going to want to fight for a girl that they like, and they're always going to. Yeah. So sometimes they're controlling the strings, whatever.
To lose. So yeah, it's the power thing, and this. Yeah, of course, absolutely. Anyway, where's Ben gone?
He's hopefully coming back on. I think he's trying to join the call. But I do want to go back to you, Paul, and talk about your series. You were in there with Girls Aloud legend Sarah, who actually won the series.
I don't know about legend, but
I love Sarah. I mean, what was it like? Because in Celebrity Big Brother, people make comments that you don't get a big name going in there, and to get someone from Girls Aloud actually enter the show was kind of a, people couldn't believe she was going in there, and she won the show. So what was she like to live with?
She was okay. Sarah's lovely, but you know, again, it's Jekyll and Hyde. It's addiction. She was going through some serious, you know, stuff, and you know, and you know, the minute the drink came out, she would hide it. She would run for it. She couldn't wait to get it. She clenched onto a man. That was another drug. You know, it's all this kind of, don't feel good enough in myself, so I need to numb that with a man, sex, whatever, and booze and all that. But in the day, you know, she was pleasant and nice, and she's a great girl. I've known her for many years. But to see that other side of her, which I know too well, because it's happened with me many times, the same on Love Island, etc. You know, and suddenly it's just this kind of, you know, I don't know, wants to just drink and then turn into this other person, this real Jekyll and Hyde syndrome, and you know, and it's not nice. And in the end, it was just, I couldn't be around it that much. I couldn't really, because I knew what a great person she was, and it was sad to see this other side. And you know, like, you know, I wish her well, but she just disappeared. She vanished after that show. And you know, in my eyes, the reason she won was because of Girls Aloud, not because of Sarah Harding. You know, they have a big fan base, and I think it was more because of the followers that the band have got, rather than actually her as an individual. That's my truth. The biggest star for me, I think, was Sean from EastEnders. You know, Barry. Yeah, Barry. Barry, yeah. Sean, you know, he's incredible, the nicest guy ever, but he was so quiet and so humble and so lovely that you never got to see like him, because he just, you know what I mean, he's just an actor, like he just did the job. And but what an incredible man. Same as Derek Okora, you know, God rest his soul. Like, we lost Derek, you know, and an amazing man, but like never got enough airtime because they were just, you know, chilled and whatever. But anyway, it's yeah. So, but I love Sarah, and I really hope that she's doing well. And yeah.
Well, I've got two more questions about Big Brother for you. Then we're going to move on to talk about what you're doing now. So the two questions are: what stands out as, for you, Paul, the funniest moment that you can always remember that just makes you laugh about your time on the show? And then secondly, what did you find most difficult about Big Brother? So they're the two questions left for you. Hello.
Oh, that's my little one. So I think that's little De Niro. I think for me,
De Niro.
Yeah, De Niro. For me, the really, it's like that Have a Ribena kind of, like, that came out of it. It was just like, you know, the row that me and what's her name, Gemma had, and then kind of ended up just going, why can't you just have a Ribena? And Ribena ended up, you know, going mad, making t-shirts.
I remember that.
You know, and there was tunes made of it.
I think Ribena jumped in it as well.
Yeah, it was mad, and you know, and just the fun times I had with the boys, with Jordan from IB for Weekender and Sam from Made in Chelsea. We were just really got on well, and yeah, it was just great times with Brandy, you know, from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She's just amazing. Just some, and obviously having Sandy there, you know, from Gogglebox, she's just one of your own as well. So I don't know, I had so many great times in there. I absolutely loved doing it. I really enjoyed it. And the hardest time for me was missing my little boy, to be honest, and kind of, you know, feeling a little bit ganged up at times. Yeah, you know, called names, and it does bring up stuff from when I was a kid at school being bullied. It happens in there because people want, as Colin said, you know, people can get a bit jealous. People want to put you down and bring you down when they know you're a big character and you're competition.
Yes, 100%.
It's true. What's your saying that you do on what's your saying?
500 monkeys, boo!
Colin, Colin, we'll bring the two questions over to you now. So what just stands out as your funniest moment?
That felt good, yeah. That felt good. That felt good.
He loves it.
Colin, what was your favourite? Like, what stands out as the funniest moment for you, and what did you find most difficult?
The funniest moment for me was when the first night we was all trying to find our beds and stuff and whatever, and I think the beds that they had was like very, very flimsy, and I sat down in the bed, whatever, and it broke the bed, and it was like quite a funny moment. It was a little funny moment. Yeah, that was good. That was funny. We were gonna laugh about it. That's what broke the ice. That broke the ice. Do you know what I mean? And like you need that sort of moments. What else was funny in Big Brother? That's the only thing I can think of, really. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Obviously there was some little flashpoints in that, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Colin, I bet there's more, like, you know, but that just shows, isn't it, how, like, sometimes actually we only remember, like, the dark, you know, some really not great times, you know, it really stands out. Yeah. You know, and it's quite sad, isn't it, really? Yeah.
Do you know what, Paul? When I see people from other series and stuff, and you said everyone can speak to each other and whatever, and this thing, you all got all along and this and the other. No, for my series, no one, I'm talking about no one keeps in touch with each other. It was a very, very toxic series, man.
Wow.
It was a very, very nobody talks to each other, and it's very sad because I see all the others, and I see Callum with Jamie O'Hara. I see you talking to this person. I see you hanging out with this person. You Sandy this year. My series, forget it. No way that happened.
It's a lot of ego, wasn't there? I suppose a lot of people.
Too much, man. You know what? I didn't want to listen. It was too much. I think I would have thrived. I mean, obviously, you know what? You know, people still talk about me on that show to this day, but I would have loved to be in a different house. Yeah, I think it might be in a more happy house. They put a lot of toxic narcissists in that house, man, and it was too much, man. And it really drained me. It drained me, man. It drained me. In the end, I came out. You know what? There's something. I left something in the house. I can't explain. I never came out. I was never the right person again, mate. I was never the right person again, man. There's something still in me in that house.
Wow, that's really big, man. That's really big because you know what? Because it's on TV and it's in front of a lot of people, and it's that shame, and it's that kind of, you know, you feel shamed. You feel
humiliation.
You know, and it's toxic shame, and it is humiliating, and that's
toxic
the thing.
Shame. When you think about it, you know what it is. You know. Listen. I play a narcissist, right? I play narcissist in Heavy D, but I play that character. So when they told me you have to play that character, I was like, okay. Obviously, there was signs of Colin in there when I was trying to protect a lot.
Shit, your sound has gone. Colin.
Yeah, we've lost you, Colin.
I was trying to protect a lot. I don't know if, you know what, I was playing going all the way through it, do you know what I mean? Yes.
It's impossible, man, to keep that up 24 hours a day.
This is what I'm trying to say, is like, do you know what it is, right? That's why I was within this Heavy D, all right, and stuff, and whatever, but all the stuff in there, all the bullying and stuff, and all the stuff that was going on, I don't want to say no names, but I was like, no, and that's why I went for me and the biggest narcissist in there. Me and him, we locked horns for that reason, because I was like, no, this is not right. You know what I mean? And like, do you know what? At the end of the day, is, you know what? And I was sticking up for everyone, right? Yeah, and they all turned on me.
Do you know what, Colin? Like, you're a great guy. It's time to let it go, move on, right? You don't need to. Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
I listen. Only because we're talking about it, put it back up. But listen, no, I don't. To be honest with you, I don't sit on a day-to-day basis. I don't think about Big Brother.
Of course not.
I don't think about it.
No, it was years
ago. I don't think about it. But obviously, when we're talking about it now, it wells up emotions. Yeah. It wells up stuff in me that I didn't even know that it all comes back to surface.
Yeah. See what you've done, Lewis.
What?
What we'll do is we'll move on.
It's all your fault.
we'll talk
No,
about what you guys are doing now.
Lewis, I just want to say one last thing. The funniest moment was when I first got in there and I thought it was the button for the diary room, and instead it was the fire alarm. And I pressed it, and we all ended up having to leave the building, like literally within a few hours of us actually being in there. And there was this little camera around into this trailer, and it honestly, I genuinely thought it was the diary room bus, and I couldn't understand why it weren't opening. So I really whacked it, and the whole fucking place, just the fire alarm was so loud. So that's a moment. Anyway, yes. Back to you. Sorry.
I love. Do you know what?
Listen, I wish I could have some happy memories like you, Paul.
Oh, don't.
Paul.
Yeah. Yes, Colin.
What?
Yes, I can hear you.
I wish I had as many happy memories as you, mate.
Thank you.
I wish I had as many happy memories as you, but I don't. I'm sorry. I mean, it's a fact.
Go on, Lou.
I don't have as many happy memories as you.
So, Paul, I want to ask you what you do now. So, just for both of you, really, what's life been like since leaving the house? But what projects have you recently been working on, and what have you got coming up that you can tell us about?
Okay, well, I've got 2 minutes. So, all I can say is since leaving the house, it obviously, not obviously, but it was never going to really give probably what it would have given a lot of people many years ago. It was just a job, like what Colin says. You know, you go on there, you do your job, and it was hard work. It might not seem it, but it was bloody hard work. It was very tiring, and when I left, I kind of chilled out for a bit, and then I ended up just doing a bit of film work here and there. I've got a movie out at the moment that was called Are We Dead Yet, but now it's called The Living Dead. It's out to pre-order at the moment for iTunes. It's on Amazon. It's been sold to America and Canada, and it's on all the platforms basically. Wow. And it's a wicked movie, urban comedy horror, ready in time for Halloween, with some really good actors, a man like Hacks, who I'm sure you know, Jessica Jane Stafford, Professor Green, directed by Freddie Nwaka-Kruger, who's phenomenal award-winning director. I've got my podcast, The Morning After, with Paul Danan, which is all about mental health and the arts. So all the people in our industry that suffer with mental health, do you know what I mean? Heavy, I'd love to get you on. Not saying anything, but it'd be good just to talk about the shit we've been talking about, because, you know, bullying, all that trauma, it's actual trauma that can affect us later on in life. It's a really big issue, and especially with lockdown and stuff, you know, a lot of people have suffered, especially in the arts where we've lost work and stuff. I just done a massive panto mixed with other pantos with all celebrities for the NHS called The Gift Musical, and it's got everyone in, like everyone. All my scenes were with Joe Pasquale, but you got Tina Malone, Vanessa Feltz, Abs from Five, Shane Lynch, Ben Ofedu, the whole ASM family basically, and it's out. So because theatres are closed, what we've done is we've filmed it, so you can actually buy it on Amazon for $9.99 and watch all of us do panto together in one play. And so all the kids get to see panto this year, and all the proceeds go to NHS to help them with COVID. So that's been a real phenomenal project to do. And, you know, and please God, more stuff starts to come. Probably, you know, missed a few things out, but I mean, it looks like I'm doing a dating show with Colin.
I know. That looks like it's coming up.
And I want to be one of those wheeler dealers as well, Cole. So honestly, I could sell any ice to an Eskimo. Do you know what I mean? I can't hear him.
Colin, quickly going over to you now. What projects have you been working on, and what have you got coming up that you can tell us about?
Right. So basically, I'm shooting the new Rise of the Foot Soldier Origins. I've got a part in that. Massive news for me. I've always wanted to do acting. That's what I set out to do. From going to drama classes and stuff, and now I've got my big break in the acting world. So shooting for that in a couple of weeks. In October this month. As I say, I've got the YouTube channel, Booming It TV. So sports, boxing, football. I do a lot of interviews on there. And I was just saying, I'm formulating a lot of ideas, stuff, and loads of things to come for 2021. So it's very exciting. I'll be keeping myself very busy, and yeah, make sure you subscribe to Boomlet TV. I put a lot of heart and soul into that. I'm very proud of the numbers and stuff, and yeah, you know, obviously, like, there's not as much work as what I'd like it to be due to the lockdown. But, you know, we just got to keep on trucking. We got to just keep on, you know. You know, in the days, like, you know, sometimes got to make the most out of a bad situation, and you just got to, you know, got to make do. You know, you can't, you know, just got to keep going. That's all you can do.
Yeah, I don't know where Ben's gone, Lewis.
You know, the news for me in this film has been a great thing for me, and do you know what? It's just a base to build on, and we'll see where we're going to go with that. We'll see where we're going to go. Do you know what I mean? In the days and night, you know, the future's not ours to see. You just got to stay in the game and see where it takes us, and that's all we can do.
Well, thank you both for coming on. I'm not sure where Ben went, unfortunately. It would have been nice to hear what he's going to be working on coming up. So hopefully we can maybe get him and add him on towards the end. But thank you so much for coming on, both of you, and giving your time today.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for watching. That's the final episode. Now, unfortunately, Ben's connection went, so we didn't get to ask him some of the questions, which is unfortunate. But I am hoping to get him back on the show for a separate interview, because at Christmas, I am bringing some Big Brother specials back. So we've got some housemates that didn't participate in the reunion series, but they will be taking part. So that's near Christmas. We have a special 2 weeks of episodes, including celebrity and non-celebrity. So that's back in December. So I hope you come and support and enjoy.